Hey everybody, we finally have more information on the Alberta Disability Assistance Program. Let's talk about what's happening and how it will impact Albertans with disabilities. On March 9, 2026, the Alberta government introduced new information about the Alberta Disability Assistance Program, ADAP. For those who don't know, in July 2026, many of the 79,000 severely disabled Albertans will be taken off of assured income for the severely handicapped, or ACE, and put on ADAP. Currently, ACE is for eligible Albertans with a permanent medical condition that prevents them from earning a living. ADAP will be for Albertans with severe disabilities who are able to work. The government says that recipients who meet any of these criteria will not have to move from ACE to ADAP and will not have to do anything. Individuals with a severe and profound developmental disability or who are deemed eligible for or are receiving Persons with Developmental Disabilities (PDD) services. Individuals with palliative or terminal medical conditions, individuals living in continuing care homes, and individuals 60 years of age or older. Those who don't meet any of this criteria will be notified before July 2026. The Alberta government will cover the cost of one medical assessment for current ACE clients who transition to ADAP on July 1st and later choose to be reassessed for ACE. There is no time limit on this and will be available whenever a recipient wishes to use it. The application for both programs will be the same. Clients who meet the financial and medical requirements will be assessed by an adjudicator who will review the medical information to decide if an applicant qualifies for ADAP or should be referred to a panel of medical professionals to determine eligibility for ACE. However, the decision made by the review panel is final. There is no appeal process. So, let's talk about the issues. As I have said many times now, the government put the cart before the horse. For many years, I have worked with organizations who directly or indirectly help people with disabilities find good, meaningful employment. Over that time, I have seen strides made in inclusive employment. However, not enough that a program like ADAP can succeed. The government says they tested the success of ADAP on 30 people with disabilities, and all 30 people were successful. The problem here is that we don't know what barriers they faced. I could go to every service provider offering employment support and find 30 people who were successful. It doesn't mean that every person eligible for ADAP will be successful. There's two reasons for that. Number one, because Alberta remains one of the only provinces that does not have an accessibility legislation. In fact, when asked yesterday by MLA Lauren Dack if the government would create accessibility legislation, Assisted Living and Social Services Minister Jason Nixon deflected blame on the NDP for not creating it when they were in government 12 years ago.
The NDP keep wanting to ignore that they failed on this file. They had a chance when they were here. They said they were the great champion on this issue. They didn't index the payments. They didn't increase age payments, Mr. Speaker. They didn't pass accessibility legislation. They didn't invest in employment supports, Mr. Speaker. And they continue to punish people on ACE for participating in the workforce. This side of the House, we've indexed payments. We've increased the budget by almost 40%, $1 billion, Mr. Speaker. This year, we'll spend more money than any government in history supporting the disabled, $3.6 billion for my department alone, Mr. Speaker. That's real action. NDP's all talk.
The second reason is because we haven't moved the needle on inclusive employment far enough in order for people with all disabilities to be able to work. When it comes to sensory issues, chronic pain and fatigue, limited mobility, and other disabilities, not to mention those in rural or remote communities, we are no further ahead than we were 10 years ago. Currently, on ACE, you can receive $1,940 a month, unless you receive the $200 Canada Disability Benefit, or CDB. Then it's $1,740 a month. The new ADAP program will pay recipients a maximum of $1,740 a month, and those on ACE will continue receiving the $1,940 a month. From July 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2027, there will be a transition period where those on ADAP will continue receiving the ACE amount. Currently, on ACE, you can earn up to $1,072 a month before the government starts clawing it back. When they first introduced ADAP, they claimed that recipients would be able to earn more before clawback. So, how much can an ADAP recipient make before clawback? Drum roll, please. $700, roughly $300 less than what they can currently earn on ACE. A clawback calculator will be coming out soon, according to the government. Oh, and those still on ACE, they can earn up to $350 a month before everything else they earn is clawed back. But yet, this government thinks it can come in with its shiny new program and everyone will find a job. They won't. And their claim that they will be moved back to ACE, currently the wait time to get on ACE is 1 year. With this new program in effect, that time frame will only increase. With rent prices, food, gas, bills, medical expenses, $1,740 is nothing. This program will put more people on the streets. Yesterday, Minister Nixon had this to say when MLA Dack asked him a question about accessible transportation.
Well, Mr. Speaker, there's over $250 million in the budget to do exactly that. The most that has ever been in the Alberta budget. We doubled the budget last year. We've increased it by over $50 million this year, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that we invest in this space. What the real challenge is for people within the disability community that want to enter the workforce is prior to this, they were stuck underneath NDP programs that punished them for going to work, Mr. Speaker. The NDP, when they were on this side of the aisle, never bothered to change that. Instead, they took away every dollar those people earn, Mr. Speaker, and this side of the House is fixed.
He blames the NDP for punishing people with disabilities for working. But under the NDP, people with disabilities should take home more on ACE than they'll be able to on ADAP or ACE. The government boasts about how people can earn more than $45,000 and still get financial benefits. He says it's higher than any other province. So I made more than that at a job and still got financial benefits. According to the government's ADAP page on their website, through ADAP, Albertans with disabilities will have access to the resources and tools they need to gain new skills and work to their full potential. Employment supports will include holistic wraparound supports designed to address a wide range of personal, social, and practical barriers that may impact an individual's ability to find a job and work to their full potential. ADAP clients will be expected to participate in activities that help them move toward employment with support that includes career planning, assistive technology, simulated work sites, and supported job placement. ADAP clients will work with case managers to create a personalized action plan. If an ADAP client is unable to find a job after receiving employment support, they will continue to receive the financial and health benefits. If their medical condition progresses to the point that they are unable to work, they can apply for the ACE program. You didn't need, Minister Nixon, you didn't need to create a new program that hurts more people than it helps. In fact, I don't even know who it helps, other than you and the UCP, of course. Maybe you'll use that money to cut down the $9 billion deficit you have, or will you do what you do best and line your own pockets on the backs of low-income Albertans? My money's on the latter. Danielle Smith had this to say in a recent interview.
We had heard that people were moving here just to be on social programs.
Premier Smith was answering a question about the cost of living and why her government recently tightened up eligibility requirements for the seniors benefit. She also pointed to changes to assured income for the severely handicapped, or AISH, that were made for similar reasons.
That was one of the reasons why we knew we had to bring AISH payments in alignment with other jurisdictions. We think people should be taxpayers first and should be moving here to pay taxes, not to be on social programs.
There are two issues with this logic. I have, a few times, considered moving out of Alberta, partly due to the UCP's cruelty, and partly because I have lived here all my life and desired something new. However, one thing has always stopped me. Well, two if you count my friends and family. The biggest thing, though, was the cost. To move all my things, travel to the new place, have a new place to live, and other costs would be extremely expensive. How on earth could I afford it on $1,940 a month? The UCP says it's the most generous program in Canada. So, to that logic, how would any other Canadian with a disability be able to afford it? It's ridiculous. The second issue is ACE is incredibly hard to get onto, and is not enough to make ends meet. Why would anyone take a gamble by picking up their life, moving to Alberta, just to wait 3 months to apply for a program they may not even get on? The possible ACE fraud, which was investigated in 2024-2025, found a grand total of 0.05%, or 5 in 1,000 cases. The reality is that this program will hurt many people with disabilities. It will allow far too many to fall through the cracks, and increases the risk of homelessness. I have heard of far too many people applying for medical assistance and dying or MAID because they are absolutely terrified of what this program will mean for them. The government refuses to address any of the concerns that advocates have. They believe this program is amazing, and any opposition is met with deflection and snide remarks. A real government that truly cares about their citizens doesn't do that. My only slight sliver of hope is that the transition period, when people will still receive the higher rate of financial assistance, ends at the end of December 2027. The next provincial election is in October 2027. That means we have the opportunity to elect a real government who truly cares. If you're an NDP supporter, start helping Naheed Nenshi and the Alberta NDP build a winning campaign to oust the UCP. If you're a conservative, and I mean a real conservative, not whatever the UCP is, start helping Peter Guthrie build his Alberta Tory party and oust the UCP. Both parties will work to reverse the harm caused by the UCP. We are stronger together, and together we can fight back. Thank you, everyone.